Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. Today, I would like to tell you about the news that you have probably not heard about anywhere. This is something unusual, and this has something to do with our faith including, because the subject of my today's meeting with you is related to God. God, as we understand, is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the only one who created this universe, people, and all other planets and life in the universe is all created by Him. That is why today I have to tell you about other God who is also in existence, and we have to know about Him and about what is going on with Him today. As you probably know, in fourth century BC or so, at that time approximately, there was a god who in Israel people used to call Yahweh. So they used to say before El, their god is their god's name is El. That's how they say initially. Then all of a sudden that god has been removed, and on his place came Yahweh, God Yahweh. Then after some time, there was a goddess whose name was Asherah, and after some time, their son Baal. So it's like entire family. Um, they've been told to bring these Israelis had to bring kurbani in the form of animals, in form of food products, in form of even newborn infant children to this god. So this Yahweh, he's been running Israel as well as other people who have served him for some time. It was going on for centuries, for thousands of years, and it is going on still in some places of the planet. And we have to be aware of it, because why I would like to explain to you this reason. The thing is that when he came to power as God, he has announced himself as God because he was kind of a person who had while staying here, as some people say, some sources of information say that he's been originating himself from the places of the Middle East, from the nomadic groups of Middle East, and then he's become over there. He's been supporting wars, supporting the people who would like to come to power and become wealthy. So he's been supporting them, and ultimately he's become like a person who has been accepted as God, because those pagans of that time, they've been, as you understand, they've been praying for such gods. So when he died, he's been like continued. The people had continued to pray for him because he's been supporting their wars, supporting their wealth, supporting their obtaining somebody's lands, the killings, the getting slaves, and he's been always supporting only that side of the human race, where there was only injustice and unfairness. So what was going on initially? Israeli people, when they've been told first to pray to God called El. Then after that, no, El Elohim, they called that. Elohim is many gods. God is one. If God is one, they called him El. If many gods, Elohim, this word appeared suddenly, and after that, they removed all those words and they put Yahweh as their main god. So, and then they've been praying to him for many years up to now. It's still going on. And as you understand that he's been always involved in wars and supporting crimes related to the those activities where bloodshed and wealth obtained through this kind of unfairness. So that is why, as you know, up to date it is going on, the wars everywhere, the conflicts, where a government takes power and demonstrates its power, control and manipulation over people, where still slavery in existence, where there is when you go to work, for example, your boss start to behave as if he is your owner and things like that. So wherever a human being goes, he or she always feels that kind of lack of freedom, lack of independence, lack of lack of love and respect to him or to her. So all these were created by this God called Yahweh. Why he's become God? Because um, that many people in the even countries followed this so-called faith and followed this God, and they continue to pray for him. So much so, even Taurat and Injil, this Bible, everything was by human hand was they rewrote all those things where it was more comfortable for them, for Yahweh and his group, because he's got very strong group who is supporting him. That's whatever group he has. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is much stronger than all of them together. Anyhow, this situation is such that you have to be aware that he's got a group. It's like terroristic group who came to power and trying to rule the world. This sort of things happened thousands of years ago. But as you understand, our 1,000 years in universe is just one day. In any case, it is quite a bit, quite some time. Why did it happen? Because people, the planet Earth is young comparing to other planets where some other creatures are living. But we human beings, we are still young and we don't have that experience and exposure to how to live with the universe, how to correctly communicate to our almighty creator, for example. That we don't know how to live, how to feel. Although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put this into us when he created us, but many of us, we just have come out of the line because of that cruel situation around us, be it government, be it economic situation, be it social capacity, or social situation where we don't have our capacity to survive. In many areas of life where we shrank, we become like small creatures. And this is what Yahweh, this so-called God Yahweh, wanted to see, that people shrank, people become indifferent not independent. Of course, they have to depend on him all the time. That is why they demanded from Israelis that they have to pray for him and do very bad things that I don't want to talk about right now. But I think that some of you heard and read about it because this is all very well known nowadays. So this God Yahweh, he has created this kind of tension in the entire planet, on the entire planet. That is why today we have what we have, and he's got support in form of archons, so-called creatures that also support him. They also have very they are not dark forces, but they have they dislike people, and they actually have no interest to support. They also have no morality. They don't have no ethics, as well as this Yahweh. And Yahweh is very self-centered person. He is very arrogant, and he prefers that people will also be like him. And that is why he brought such kind of situation, such kind of environment into our social relationships, or in the countries, between each other, between countries also, where there is always no trust in each other, no respect to each other, no culture, no honor, no dignity. So this is what actually he brought us to our in today's world. That's what's going on at the moment. And besides that, he is very strong manipulator. He knows very well what human being thinks about, what he wants, and in many cases, he can even people who approach God. He's like, he stands like in between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and human being, and immediately does something. For example, if somebody asks, "Give me good health," he can provide good health, so that this person will continue to pray for him, because he will be standing like this, pretending as if he is God. But what kind of problem can be happening after that? Because this health can be only for one day, or in return for that health you have to pay something else. So it is always not straight. Whatever games he has, all these games are very crooked, and he is very dangerous, actually, so-called gold, or so-called God. But if you're aware of him, if you know how to deal with him, and you have to push him aside, because because he always interfere with the human being, with the relationships in the country. Also, for example, be it power, who comes to some group of people who come to power and would like to rule the country, he for sure he will interfere. For sure he will bring his values, where self-centered, desire only to get wealthy, to use, abuse, to turn people into slaves. So that kind of the power from strength point of view, where you show power, then not having any respect. These kind of things he brings to the world. And these archons who are around him, archons, that he also called, those are creatures that help him also. Besides that, he's got another group of support that is also around him, and all these dark forces, including Iblis and his group, they are all supporting him. That is why today on our planet today, we're going through hell, actually, through so much of atrocities, so much of unfairness and injustice that one can't even imagine. That is why today's world is changing rapidly. And I have come to tell you today that because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like to completely change everything. So he's bringing new era. And in this new era will be life as it's supposed to be. As I said, we are still young creatures. This human race is still young. That is why we had to go through certain trials. That is why we had to go through certain tests. But I think that we have gone through everything. Yes, unfortunately, we did mistake, because we should have stick to with our faith on only with the pure hearts, with pure faith. We should have only with our faith and our patience. We should carried on with our love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should have carried on with our faith only to Him. But what we did, many people diverted, because they asked God, and immediately Yahweh gave that wealth, for example. They think that he approached God, and Yahweh gave that wealth, and this man think, oh, God help me. But in reality, tomorrow he has to pay for it, or this wealth will go away. Anyhow, so it has to be known by you that by today, the strength of this Yahweh has become very poor, and day by day it's becoming less and less. That is why actually I have been absent, because I've been on a spiritual war, because I'm a chosen one by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm involved as some other group of people on this planet. We are all involved in this, and I was actively participating in this process. That's why I'm clearly, with full responsibility, I'm telling you that this process of diminishing, or even rather say reducing the Yahweh's power on earth, is for sure in place. But now, why I'm approaching you with all this information? Because until such time, while we pray to the wrong God, until such time, while people will not differentiate between real God and the terrorists who have actually occupied the power right now, until such time, while we feel by our heart who is true Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and who is the one who is pretending to be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, until such time he will be sitting at power, and he will be ruling Israel, because Israel is the place where he has come to power, and he has generated all the strength that today he has. That is why today Israel is so strong, no matter how much the entire world is now supporting Palestine, and whole world is against Israel today, Netanyahu, but still the Netanyahu is still strong, and Israel is still going on against Palestine, because this Yahweh is supporting them. And as you can see, Yahweh is supporting all those who are at power, who creates cruelty, then creating these wars, creating conflicts, creating all sorts of horrible criminal activities that today people at power do, and not only them, people at commercial organizations, corporations, and not only private sector, government sector, wherever there is a power and money, the Yahweh is there. He is always trying to put his nose into everybody's business, so that he can control and rule, and so that people will continue to pray for him to get it more and more. So today his power is reduced. Today his condition is weakened, significantly weakened. And I would request you kindly tell each and everybody to pray real Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we have to get rid of this Yahweh once and for all. Once he will go away, so all wars will stop, all these governments will fall, fake governments will fall, and people at last will take power as it's supposed to be, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would like it to be. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees what's going on. And of course, he knows that's why he's bringing these changes. And he's controlling the situation on his part. But now it is our part. I have done, for example, my part as chosen one. I've done my part as much as I could in the universe. So universe is more or less in order right now, although he's still sitting in power, this Yahweh. But we now on earth, we have to take our hands together and go against fake power of so-called gods. And we have to go against dark forces. We have to stop saying to ourselves that we want to be rich, we want to be wealthy. It's not that what Islam teaches us, isn't it? We have to be kind, first of all. We have to be soft-hearted. We have to love each other, respect each other. We have to always carry our life with dignity and honor. We have to put our faith in ourselves, faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, faith in our people, our nations, and always walk straight, never deviate from the straight path. You understand? Once we do that, all these dark forces will fall. I will tell you even more. Not only Yahweh and his supporting group, who is also quite ugly. I mean, some ugly creatures, I'm telling you. I've seen some of them, and I've seen Yahweh too, and it is very ridiculous characters, okay? They're very nasty, they're very bad, they can create very serious issues. So I would warn you, don't deal with them. And as long as you're with clean heart, coming with clean, respectful prayers to real Allah, real God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, real creator, and until such time your prayers will not be accepted in correct manner, but some other creatures like him, like this Yahweh, can stand in between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do whatever he feels like. That is why let's first of all straighten up our hearts, our approaches. We have to first of all understand that our niyat has to be clean, our words have to be clean, our mind has to be clean, our hearts have to be clean, our hands must be clean. Everything must be absolutely pure. Once it is pure, it means that our prayers will be accepted by real Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand that? Once it will happen, your country will become absolutely perfect. Once it will happen, that fake government will fall, and real people's power, people's chosen people will come to power, and peace will come. The prosperity will come. And of course, everything will be like whatever country's wealth is coming, it will be distributed evenly, and people will be healthy, children happy, and future will be bright. So for that, if you would like to come to that, you must right now differentiate and ask yourself, which God am I praying? Okay? So this is a very serious moment of our life on earth, and we have to be aware of it, and we have to spread information around the world, and we have to try to make everything possible for that bright time to come as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. But of course, we trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us, and we have to be supporting all the plans that he has about the renovation of our life on the planet, to change our minds, develop our perspective, develop ourselves, and grow, spiritually grow, mentally grow, and never ever do anything what is not acceptable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, I wish all the best. See you next time. Allah Hafiz.